See what I'm saying? And that would have been my idea, guys, for the what? That would have been my idea, guys, for the Star Wars sequels. And you have this huge celebration, and the Resistance defeat the what? They defeat the First Order. You know what I'm saying? Kylo Ren is back to the light side, obviously, and Luke defeated the what? The final Sith once and for all. Obviously, in other words, Luke and Rey are the two last Jedi's. Obviously, alive. You see what I'm saying? And Kylo Ren, you know what I'm saying? Kylo Ren and Snoke are the last two Sith alive. You see what I'm saying? And they fight in the third, the second and third. The second, they fight in a huge epic grand scale war in the third movie. Obviously, so it's a battle of, and you also have the First Order fighting the Resistance. You see what I'm saying? That would be my idea. You have Poe, you have Finn, you have Han Solo and Leia. They lead the Resistance and they fight the First Order. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have had Finn go on some stupid side quest to find a Codebreaker. No, you don't need to do that. No, you just have Finn. He hit Finn and all of them. They lead the Resistance and they fight the what? The people in the First Order, obviously. See what I'm saying? Yeah, so instead of having Luke appearing as a Force Ghost, he creates a diversion. So you create a diversion just so they can escape. You have all these ice dogs and all stuff, and ice dogs and all stuff, and you have Rose bashing into Finn, which could have killed him obviously, and she kisses him in the end. You don't have to have that in your movie. No, Rian Johnson. You could have told that. You could tell a story that's consistent with George Lucas' story. That way you honor George Lucas' legacy and you don't fuck up his fucking legacy, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Ivan, your story is simple, but it's also amazing. Yeah, it's a simple story. Just like when you watch the originals, you watch the prequels, they're simple stories, but they're also really amazing. The originals are a simple story. They're not complicated to understand. You don't have to make it complicated with all this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? The Wayfinder, all that stuff, and Rise of Skywalker. You know what I'm saying? And you have, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Kylo Ren comes back to the light side, but the way he comes back to the light side is kind of foolish. It's kind of a bit silly. You have Han Solo, the man he murdered. He appears to him as a Force ghost. You come back, Kylo, and then Kylo Ren throws his lightsaber, and he all of a sudden comes to the light side. You know what I'm saying? In the end, Rey kisses him, and then I am all the Jedi, and you bring back Palpatine. No, there's no need to bring back Palpatine. Anakin defeated Palpatine in Return of the Jedi. There's no need to bring him back. Otherwise, you can create plot holes and contradictions in your story, obviously. But because Rian Johnson killed off Snoke, obviously, J.J. Abrams had to find a way. Okay, we need to have a formidable opponent for Rey to face. I don't want Rey facing Kylo Ren because Kylo Ren will come back to the light. You know what I'm saying? Let's bring back Palpatine. Okay, how can we fix this story? Let's have Palpatine be a clone of Snoke, which I found was very silly. Obviously, I made Snoke. You know what I'm saying? And when you watch Last Jedi, Rian Johnson gave no hint whatsoever that Palpatine's alive, or his essence, his spirit. There was no hint whatsoever that Palpatine was alive. And all of a sudden, when you watch Rise of Skywalker, he appears. You see Kylo Ren. He's in that planet, obviously, and Palpatine appears out of nowhere. I'm like, where the fuck did he come from? There's no hint that Palpatine was alive, or his essence, or his spirit, or a clone of Palpatine was alive. You know what I'm saying? Well, Palpatine was what? Was a clone of Snoke, Ivan. Snoke was a clone of Palpatine, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Palpatine was pretty much a clone, a Snoke in spirit, right? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of silly in a way. I thought that was a little silly, but because Rian Johnson, what? J.J. Abrams gave Rian Johnson the keys. Rian, do whatever you want. I don't care if your story contradicts my story. I'm not gonna plan this out with you. I did my movie. You do your movie. Do whatever you want. Okay, I'll do. If you want me to do whatever I want, I'll do whatever I want. And because you didn't plan it out, Ryan Johnson made his own Star Wars story, obviously, and it split the fan base, and it was so messy that J.J. Abrams, you know what I'm saying, Colin Trevorrow was supposed to direct the third movie, and then Kathleen Kennedy fired him, and she brought back J.J. Abrams like last minute, and he had like a year to fix everything. And he did his J.J. Abrams did his best, obviously, but it was too messy to fix. He couldn't fix it. Yeah, I couldn't fix it. Everything was just a bloated mess, man. I should have just planned it out with Ryan Johnson. Yes, you should have planned your second movie out with Ryan Johnson. You shouldn't have given him the keys and the full power. And because he did that, Ryan Johnson made whatever movie he wanted to make, and it contradicted some of J.J. Abrams' Force Awakens movie. And by the third movie, everything was a bloated mess. It was so messy that you had Palpatine appearing out of nowhere. You had spaceships appearing out of nowhere in space in a short amount of time. How did those spaceships get there so fast? Like hyperdrive, right? How did those spaceships get there so fast? You know what I'm saying? It will take quite a bit of time for the spaceships to get there, and all of a sudden you get a bunch of spaceships appearing out of nowhere, and you have all the Palpatine ships. Like, where did all those what crew built all those high tech ships, man? That Palpatine had in Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, a lot of problems in the story, obviously. And you have Rey kissing Kylo Ren in the end, and so you go from Rey calling Kylo Ren a murderous snake in the second one to Rey kissing him in the third one. The whole thing is just a bloated mess, man. I mean, it's a fucked up mess. Yeah, the whole thing was a mess. Hence why I believe that it's common sense 101, Disney. If you're going to buy Star Wars off George Lucas for $4 billion, you know what I'm saying? I heard George Lucas had some notes of his idea, but I heard they never used any of his notes. They chose to add in their own ideas. Yeah, we know Star Wars better than George Lucas. We know Star Wars better than George Lucas, yet the sequels were even worse than George Lucas prequels. At least the prequels had a cohesive story. I think the prequels are pretty good movies. Revenge of the Sith is a masterpiece. In my opinion, Revenge of the Sith is the best Star Wars movie. I think it's even better than Empire and New Hope, to be honest. Really, Ivan? Yeah, I know most people think Empire is better, but I disagree. I think Revenge of the Sith was better than Empire and New Hope. I really do, man. I really believe Revenge of the Sith was the second best movie experience I ever had in my life, man. I've never been so hooked and so enthralled by a movie. Like, Fellowship of the Ring was number one for me. I remember when I watched Revenge of the Sith in 2005. I remember I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. This is a sick movie, man. Yeah, I was hooked. I'm like, this is a masterpiece. Yeah, it was an amazing movie, man. Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace were okay. Phantom Menace was pretty good. Attack of the Clones was okay. I didn't see those movies on theaters, but I saw Revenge of the Sith on theaters. And I remember that was the best experience I ever had. The second best experience I ever had at theaters. I've never been so hooked watching a movie. Was the sequels were okay. When I saw Force Awakens, I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't as good as Revenge of the Sith when I watched it, but I thought it was pretty good when I watched it on theaters. Great spectacle, high entertainment, obviously. The sequels have the entertainment and the high spectacle, obviously, but the story isn't that great, obviously. But I remember when I saw, it didn't really feel. I remember when I saw the sequels. I only saw Last Jedi and Force Awakens on theaters. And I remember when I saw Force Awakens on theaters, I'm like, yeah, this movie's pretty good, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I did Revenge of the Sith. You know, Revenge of the Sith, I had a much better experience than Force Awakens. I'm like, yeah, this is a bit too cliche. It's kind of like A New Hope. Yeah, it's a bit like A New Hope. You have Rey, she's awakens in the Force. You have Luke's lightsaber appearing out of nowhere. Again, another plot hole in the story. Who got a hold of that lightsaber, man? How the heck? In Empire, Luke's lightsaber fell down. Remember when Vader cut off his arm? I am your father. And I'm saying, no! Remember that? The lightsaber literally fell down in that deep hole, man. Like, and all of a sudden, in Rise of Skywalker, someone got a hold of the lightsaber. I'm like, how the fuck did they get a hold of that lightsaber? It's a plot hole, obviously. A plot hole in the story, yeah. Obviously, right? I'm like, JJ, you know what I'm saying? JJ, like, us Star Wars fans, we're not... Yes, JJ Abrams got away with that, obviously, as no one really talked about that problem, obviously. But us Star Wars fans were not stupid. We all saw Empire. You know what I'm saying? That lightsaber fell down in that deep hole. Where the fuck did the Luke's lightsaber appear? How the fuck did someone get a hold of that lightsaber? It fell down in the hole, man. I don't know, Ivan. It's somehow they got a hold of it. Yeah, you find a way to explain it off. Obviously, a minor plot hole in the story. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. You got to be careful about those small little plot holes in stories. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, see what I'm saying. Holy shit, Ivan, you're creative. That's your idea for the Star Wars sequels. Yes. So Ray awakens in the Force. Obviously, they find the map of Skywalker leads to that island. Obviously, some similarities to what you saw in the sequels. Obviously, and Ray in the second movie, she goes to the island, and then she hands Luke the lightsaber. Luke's like, "Where'd you get this?" You know what I'm saying? And because she hand Luke that lightsaber, it what? Because she hand Luke that lightsaber, obviously. Because she hand Luke that lightsaber, obviously, it reminded Luke of the first time when Obi-Wan gave Luke Anakin's lightsaber to Luke, the blue lightsaber. And that's what motivates Luke to train Rey. You know what I'm saying? And holy shit, you're creative, yes. And then Obi-Wan tells Luke that Anakin turned to evil, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And Luke tells Ray that his student, his best student, Kylo Ren, his nephew, obviously Anakin's grandson, has turned to the dark side. He turned to the dark side, obviously. Ray already knows that Kylo Ren turned to the dark side because they duel in the first movie, obviously. But Luke tells the story of how he turned to the dark side. He was my best student. He was good once, obviously, and he became evil, obviously. And Snoke has corrupted his mind. He's clouded his judgment, clouded his mind. And he made him do horrific things, kill villages, all that stuff. And Luke is like, and Yoda tells Luke that he needs to defeat the last Sith Lord once and for all, the devil who corrupted Anakin's grandson's mind, his nephew's mind. Yeah, and Luke fights the devil and he kills him. Obviously, defeats him. Obviously, and then Finn, Poe, you know, what I'm saying, Han Solo, Ray, Rose, and all of them. They fight and they fight another war against the First Order, an epic grand scale war too. See what I'm saying? So it's a simple story, obviously, but it's what it's what that is a true Star Wars story. That is compatible with George Lucas trilogy, obviously. And George Lucas probably would have been happy with that trilogy. Yeah, I mean that's a pretty good story. It's compatible with my sequel, with my originals. You know what I'm saying? And my prequels. Yes. You see what I'm saying? Yes, man. Yeah, man. Holy shit, Ivan, how do you do it, man? You just come with all these good stories. Yeah, I have a gift, guys. I was born with a gift. I have all these ideas in my mind. I'm able to come with all these stories. I even would have, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to talk about the Matrix here real quick before I end this video here. You know what I'm saying? Had I purchased the rights off Matrix, you know what I'm saying? I would have pitched Warner Bros. My idea for the Matrix, obviously. Okay, Ivan, yeah, Ivan. You know what I'm saying? In other words, had Matrix not, had what? Had Warner Bros. Not made that Matrix Resurrections terrible movie, obviously. Ivan, how bad was the Matrix? The Matrix Resurrection movie was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, man. That was bad. The Matrix Resurrection movie was even worse than the Star Wars sequels. That's how bad it was. It was terrible. It was terrible, man. It was a terrible movie, man. You know, confusing. I already told you guys my idea, obviously. I would have pitched to Warner Bros. Yeah, this is my idea. Yeah, Ivan, this sounds like an amazing story. We'll gladly sell you the rights for the Matrix for a good like $2.2 billion. The Matrix did $1.9 million. We'll gladly sell it for you for $2.3 billion, Ivan. And I buy the rights for $2.3 billion and I make that 3-movie trilogy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Matrix Deja Vu. There's a glitch in the Matrix, obviously. I'll talk about this for a bit, and I'm going to end the video here, guys. Holy shit, in your crave, yes. There's a glitch. I'm going to talk about. There's a glitch in the Matrix, obviously. Obviously. There's a glitch in the Matrix, obviously, and what? And the Virus Smith somehow came back to the Matrix, obviously. Ivan, how did the Virus Smith came back? The Virus Smith was just remember in the end of what? Remember in the end of remember how in the end of Resurrections when Smith copied himself onto Neo? Yeah, and the machines destroyed the Smith Neo in the real world. Obviously, that's how the virus Smith ended up coming back. Obviously, it was somehow some of a part of it was always there because it was in Neo. Obviously, because Smith became Neo. Holy shit, you're creative. Yes, I know my shit, man. And Smith comes back. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. And then the Oracle and the Architect, they recreate the One, and the One is born in the Matrix. Ivan, how's the One born? I don't know, but like there's some special birth. Obviously, the One is born in like the real world, and he's somehow connected to the Matrix, and he's born. And you get the One's life as a kid. He's adopted. You know what I'm saying? He's adopted. You know what I'm saying? He's adopted. You know what I'm saying? You know who would have been my idea? You know who would have been my idea for Agent Smith? Um, um, the guy in Daredevil. I forget his name. Fisk. Fisk in Daredevil would have been my choice for the new Smith. Obviously, he would have been the new Smith. He has that voice. The path that comes. You know what I'm saying, he has that voice. He has his glasses. He's big. He's a powerful Smith. He's even more powerful than even Hugo Weaving, and he looks more scary. He's scarier than even Hugo Weaving. Yeah. He has that voice, the path that comes, you know what I'm saying? He's a new Smith, yeah. So Smith has a new physical form, obviously, and he's more powerful than the one he even was before. He found a way to update himself, obviously, and they recreate the what, the code of the One, the Architect, and the Matrix, the Architect and the Oracle, and it's 100 years after the events of the Matrix Resurrections, the Matrix Revolutions. And they talk, and then you have a new generation. You have Morpheus and Kenobi have great grandsons. They have great grandsons. I'm saying they have grandsons, great grandsons, obviously. And then they talk. They have the grave of Morpheus, Neo, Trinity, and they talk about the great Morpheus. Talk about Trinity. They talk about Neo, the one that saved Zion, and Zion is at peace for 100 years, and the Matrix is at peace for 100 years. Remember in the end of Revolutions when the Matrix was at peace. In the end, yeah, everything was light. It was at peace because Neo, because the virus was destroyed. Yet the virus Smith was destroyed. Yes, the Matrix is at peace, and the Zion is at peace. So the humans are at peace with the machines for 100 years, and all the people plugged into the Matrix are at peace. It's not until deja vu, something happens, there's a glitch in the Matrix, and the virus Smith comes back into the Matrix. And the moment the virus Smith comes back into the Matrix, the Oracle and the Architect, they recreate, the One is recreated. The sixth or seventh one after Neo is recreated. Recreated, obviously. Ivan, how's recreated? I don't know, but that would have been my idea. The one is recreated in the Matrix, and you get his life as a kid. You get his life as a kid. You know what I'm saying? You get his life as a kid. Obviously, he gets adopted. Obviously, and at 15, 16 years old, he drops out of school. You know what I'm saying? And I know you know what I'm saying? He drops out of school. Obviously, he gets caught. He's a hacker. He gets caught with a hacking equipment. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? And they send him to the principal's office and they bring the cops and the agents. You know what I'm saying? But Agent Smith does not know that kid is the one, obviously, yet. But he finds out like 20 some years later that he's the one, and they come after him, obviously. And my idea is VJ has like this hacking look. She has like this earring. She has this hacker look, obviously, and she has like a kind of this gothic kind of look, obviously. And and the Oracle tells, and she meets the Oracle, and then it's 20 years later, obviously. The one's like a 16-year-old kid. He's in school, obviously, and he's also he has an obsession with hacking, and he gets caught with his hacking stuff. And they bring in the cops, and this stuff is dangerous. You shouldn't touch this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But Agent Smith does not know that kid's the one, obviously. I don't know. He goes to the principal's office. You see like three agents. He's like, "What the fuck?" You know what I'm saying? He's in. They give him a strike. Never do this again. Obviously, they don't know that kid's the one. Yeah, you got his life of his story. Yeah. Holy shit, you're creative. Yes, you're looking at an amazing movie. That would have been my idea for the Matrix because Warren Bros made that Resurrection movie. They fucked everything up, man. Warner Bros. Fucked everything up. As I guarantee, the Matrix Resurrection movie was a cash grab. As I guarantee, the Wachowski sisters, they half-assed it, man. Yeah, let's just tell this shitty story, and let's hopefully we put the Matrix tag on it, and hopefully it makes like $400 million, and it flopped. Yeah, it fucking flopped, man. Yeah, man. And then once the kid's 16, one kid's 16, he drops out of school. He's like I'm moving out. His parents get pissed at him. They yell at him. You know what I'm saying? They're yelling at him. They're like, get out of my apartment. Get out. You know what I'm saying? You've been nothing but a bad kid ever since we adopted you. And he leaves, obviously, and he gets a job as a dishwasher, obviously. And then when he gets a job as a dishwasher, he sells hacking stuff on the side like Neo did in the Matrix, obviously. And it transfers 20 years later. You know what I'm saying? The one's now like 36 years old. He's a dishwasher, obviously. He lives in a shitty apartment, obviously, and you'll get scenes where VJ goes into the Matrix. VJ goes into the Matrix with Morpheus' great grandson, obviously, and they see the Oracle, and the Oracle tells Trinity tells VJ, obviously, whatever her name is, that she will love the new one. Obviously, she's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "What do you mean there's a new one? Something happened. There's been a glitch in the Matrix." You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, Oracle tells Trinity, yeah, like 36 years ago, there was a glitch in the Matrix. The Agent Smith has come back, so the Oracle kept the Agent Smith like secret. Agent Smith, that Agent Smith is back secret. The Oracle pretty much keeps what keeps the Agent Smith secret from VJ and Morpheus' great grandson. It's not until 30 years later they have a meeting with her in the Matrix, obviously, and she tells them that Agent Smith is in the Matrix. He somehow found a way to the Matrix. It was like when it was a glitch. Remember that glitch years there was you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Many years ago there was a glitch in the Matrix. Singer. And the Oracle tells VJ, obviously, that she will love the new one. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean the one? What do you mean the new one? The one is dead. Neo died like 100 years ago. No, a new one has been reborn. You know, I'm saying the seventh one, and you will love him and all that stuff. He'll be more powerful than even what than even Neo himself. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And the new Smith is more powerful. And then the Oracle tells the Morpheus' great grandson that he will find the new one, and that's when they get the search going. And that's when the next day before work, I wake up on the computer and I get this and what? And VJ talks to me. You know what I'm saying? You're living in a dream world. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then 36 years later, Agent Smith finds out who the one is, obviously, and VJ tells me you're in danger. They're after you. He's like, what do you mean? They're after me? Agents. They're after you. You know what I'm saying? And I know I get this. I know I'm working in dishwashing, and I'm listening to music. I'm doing dishwashing, and I go on break, obviously, and a man just walks up. He's like, there's a package for you. And I get the phone. He's like, you're in danger. And I'm like, get out of there now. Pack your things. Get out of there now. You know what I'm saying? Okay, what do I do? Okay. Go in your dressing room. Get your stuff. Get out of there now. You have 3 minutes to get out before they arrive. And I go in there and I pack a thing and I get out. He's like, go up the stairs. Go to your apartment. You know what I'm saying? They're watching. You know what I'm saying? And I go to my apartment. Get your things and get out of there quick. How long do I have? You have 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And I'm in my apartment. And I get to scene where they're in the building. He's like, where? He's like, take a peek slowly. And I peek, and you see like three agents walking up the stairs, a couple floors down. And remember that scene in Revolutions? Yeah, and he runs, he's scared. Yeah, obviously. And eventually I meet up with VJ. I meet up with the great Morpheus' great grandson, obviously. And they free my mind, obviously, and I'm in the real world, obviously. I take the red pill, obviously. I'm in the real world, obviously, and what I learn kung fu. When I learn kung fu, I actually do like game simulations, like the Path of Neo game, something like that. I train with VJ and all of them, and Morpheus' great grandson. Yeah, obviously. And the end of the movie, the end of the movie, the end of the movie, I what? I die, obviously. The Agent Smith kills me too, obviously. And in this time, when I die, I get this. I see the light. I see this light, and Keanu Reeves walks forth. You know what I'm saying? He has his voice. He's like, who are you? He's like, I am Neo. He's like, Neo? Yeah, I was a former one before you. I saved Zion, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He's like, now you have to resave it. You have to resave Zion, resave the Matrix. The Matrix needs you. Zion needs you. You have Keanu Reeves' voice. Zion needs you. He has that voice. Zion needs you. You know what I'm saying? I am Neo. You know what I'm saying? Keanu Reeves' voice. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's like, now get up. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you are the new one reborn. You have a cameo with Keanu Reeves, obviously. He's like, and I get up. He's like, now go kick his ass. You know what I'm saying? I get up and I kick ass, obviously. And I kick that fist agent's ass, obviously. And my deal for eventually I fall in love with VJ, obviously. VJ becomes my lover, obviously. And then the third movie, I grow this beard. So I have some. You're getting that from Zaynus. Yeah, I got a little some ideas from Zaynus, obviously. In the third movie, as I grow in power, I get this beard. I have this big beard. This beard, obviously, this big beard, and I have this white. I have this white robe. So similar costume that Keanu Reeves wore in Matrix, but I have a white robe. It's white. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the one. I'm kicking ass. Yeah, man. Holy shit, I'm creative. Yeah, man. I'm fucking creative, obviously. That would have been my idea for the Matrix, for my Matrix trilogy, obviously. But because Warner Bros. Made that resurrection, there is no fixing that. You cannot fix that. It is unfixable. It is a bloated mess. I am staying far away from the Matrix. I am not touching that franchise. As what? The Wachowski sisters obviously half-assed it, obviously. The Wachowski sisters obviously didn't really care about the Matrix Resurrections. It was a cash grab. Okay, let's make a fucking shitty movie. Let's not put effort into this. Hopefully, we put the Matrix tag on it and it makes like $400 and it flopped. It only made like $200 million. I heard on a $90 million budget. Lost money, man. Yeah, man. That would have been my idea for the Matrix franchise. And I would have highly considered buying it off Warner Bros. For like for a good $2.3 billion. Warner Bros. Would have gladly given me the rights. Okay, Ivan, what are you thinking of? And I tell my story. Holy shit, Ivan, that sounds like an amazing story. Like the Matrix Deja Vu. Yeah, the Matrix Deja Vu. A glitch happens in the Matrix, and you have and the Zion and the machines are 100 years at peace, and the Matrix is 100 years at peace. And once the glitch happens, the Agent Smith comes back into the Matrix. How does he come back, Ivan? When what? When Smith copied Neo, when Smith turned Neo into a Neo Smith, into Smith, obviously, and the agents destroyed Neo in the real world through the Neo Smith clone, obviously. And remember in the end when the Oracle said Smith's Neo's still alive, his spirit still lives on. His spirit still lived on, but Smith's spirit also lived on as well. It was somewhere there in the Matrix because what? When in other words, to end it off here, holy shit, Ivan, you're fucking creative. Yes. In other words, when what? When what? When the what? When the machine destroy when Smith turned Neo into Smith, obviously, and the machines destroyed Neo, they destroyed the Neo Smith. They didn't just destroy Neo, they destroyed the Neo Smith. And Neo's spirit lived on, whatever the Oracle said, and Smith's spirit also somehow lived on too. And that's how he found a way to come back into the Matrix, obviously. And to eliminate, so I have a good explanation of how Smith came back. Yeah. Holy shit, you're creative. You know your shit. Yes, I'm very creative. I know my shit, man. I'm born with a gift. I'm born with a fucking gift, obviously. I am born with a gift. Yeah, man. That would have been my idea for the Matrix franchise, obviously, but what? Warner Bros. Fucked it up as the Resurrection movie was fucking terrible. That was terrible, man. Mr. Anderson, You have this like 27-year-old guy. I'm like, oh my god, it was terrible, man. And Keanu Reeves, he knows what I'm talking about. Even now, yeah, that was bad, man. That was a bad movie. That was bad. That was a bad movie, man. Bad movie, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't the worst movie I ever saw. There were worse movies I saw, but man, Resurrections was probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, man. That was a bad movie, man. It was bad, man. It was even worse than the Star Wars sequels, man. Because at least Last Jedi was pretty good. It was okay. You know what I'm saying? You had a little bit of some good story there. It wasn't a good Star Wars story, but it was pretty good. And what? Rise of Skywalker was a mess. Rise of Skywalker was just as bad as Resurrections. I don't think Rise of Skywalker was just as messy as Resurrections, obviously. But Force Awakens was better than Resurrections. Resurrections was a mess, man. It was a terrible movie. There's a reason why it flopped. There's a reason why it flopped, man. It was bad, man. It was a bad movie. It had bad reviews. It was a cash grab, man. It was a fucking cash grab. So that was my idea for the Star Wars sequels and my idea for the Matrix sequels. If I were to purchase the rights of Warner Bros., that would have been my idea for the story. You know what I'm saying? If I made the Star Wars sequels, that would have been my story for the Star Wars sequels. You tell George Lucas story. You continue George Lucas story. You have a parallel. To end it off here, I'm gonna say this: you have a parallel. In the prequels, is Anakin's story. Obviously, he becomes a Jedi. He loves Padme, and he turns to the dark side for love. He makes a deal with the devil. They corrupt his mind. You know what I'm saying? In the originals, Luke becomes a Jedi, and he what? And he brings his father back to life. So Anakin brings battles to the Force. He destroys Palpatine. Obviously. And in the sequels, you have Rey's story, how she becomes a Jedi, obviously. She loves Finn, obviously. And you have Luke training Kylo Ren, and you have Kylo Ren's story. You have the story of Luke, how he trained Kylo Ren. He was his best student, and Kylo Ren turned to the dark side. And Luke wants to bring him back to the light, just like he brought his father back to the light. You have the parallel, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And what? And Yoda and them tell Luke that he has to destroy the devil once and for all. The final Sith Lord, powerful Sith Lord, who turned your nephew and Anakin's grandson to the dark side and made him do unspeakable things. Yes, that would have been my idea for the story, obviously. And you have a huge war with the First Order and the Resistance, obviously. And Finn, Poe, Han Solo, and what? And Leia, they lead the Resistance. And you have Rose and all of them, and they all fight the Resistance, and they fight against the First Order in the third movie, obviously. You know what I'm saying? That would have been my idea for the Star Wars sequels, guys, and the Matrix franchise. Oh, Ivan, that would have been sick, man. Sorry, guys. It's too late. The Star Wars sequels are already done. It's a mess. There's no going back from that. Sorry, guys. And that Matrix Resurrection will be happening, and I'm not fixing that fucked up mess. I can't fix it. Hence why I'm staying far away, from the Matrix franchise. It was if it's real, so I'm signing up. Peace.